Public Schools webinar. Good afternoon, and I would like to welcome you all to the January Non-Public Schools webinar. This webinar was previously scheduled for January the 17th, but we are recording this on January the 24th for your review because we had to reschedule it because of severe weather conditions. The agenda for today's webinar, we will cover non-public schools, their timelines, NPS enrollment, EdLink, and then we will move into the audit team webinar, scholarship application timeline, school responsibilities. We will talk about the application process, such as applicant eligibility, who needs to submit an application, income verification, residency verification, verifying students, eligibility in leads, scholarship awards / match and lottery. Then we will move into demand reports, important reminders, application timeline, resources, and Q&A. Now we're going to go into the non-public schools fall 2024 deadlines. So next, I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Tajari McManus to go over the next few slides with you all.
Yes, the 2024-2025 non-public schools timeline. For the annual enrollment report, it will be opening on August 1st and closing on October 15th. For the Betsy application process for the 2025-2026 school year, the application will open on August 1st. It will close on October 15th. For the Broomfield application for the 25-26 school year, will open on August 1st. It's closing on October 15th. And EdLink training will be provided to school leaders for both the annual enrollment report as well as the Betsy and Broomfield application in the upcoming months. We will announce when those dates will be available so that school leaders can be in the know on what is going on and when the trainings will take place. So for the enrollment report, the annual enrollment report for all of the current, or should I say, all of the 24-25 non-public schools will be able to complete their annual enrollment report starting on August 1st. And so each school leader will be able to, is responsible for entering that school's data by grade, gender, and ethnicity, which will need to be completed in EdLink. Training on how to use EdLink and to request the non-public school manager role will be provided in the coming months. And the last day to submit the 24-25 annual enrollment report is October 15th. We are launching the 25-26 Betsy application for all non-public schools seeking Betsy approval in EdLink starting on August 1st. So therefore, we're giving schools an additional month to be able to start the process with their Betsy application. Each individual / school leader is responsible for renewing their school's Betsy application, which each leader must have access to EdLink. All required documents must be uploaded in order to complete the application in its entirety. Jot form will not be used for the upcoming school year's Betsy application, meaning we will not be utilizing jot form to complete Betsy nor Broomfield applications for the 25-26 school year. Training will be provided on how to utilize EdLink in the coming months, and therefore the last day will still remain to be the same as last year, which is October 15th. We're also migrating the Broomfield application for the 25-26 school year to EdLink as well for all non-public schools seeking Broomfield approval. This will start on August 1st, and each individual / school leader is responsible for renewing the Broomfield application, and they must have access to EdLink. Just to provide just the insider that Broomfield application is optional for schools that are not designed to be groomed without approval. However, groomed without approval is required along with BSC approval for schools to participate in the LSP, SEP program, as well as they would like to partner with an STO. All required documents must be uploaded in order to complete this groomed without application in its entirety. Training will also be provided for the utilization on how to navigate through EdLink in the coming months, and the last day to submit the groomed without application along with the BSC application is October 15th.
Thank you so much, Ms. McManus. Next, we will move into the audit team webinar. The LSP audit team will be holding a mandatory informational webinar for all non-public schools that participate in the Louisiana Scholarship Program. The webinar will be held on January the 24th at 2 p.m. And here is the attached meeting link. By now, all schools should have received an invite to your calendar, as well as a reminder email about the upcoming mandatory informational webinar that will be given by the audit team. So what to expect from this webinar? The audit team will give an overview of phase 2 of the scholarship audit, and they will also provide an update on revised budgets to actual and allocation spreadsheets. So please make sure that you try and attend. It is going to be some very helpful information that will be shared with all schools that participate in the Louisiana Scholarship Program. Next, let's talk about our application timeline. So the 24-25 application timeline, first is our LSP online application. It will close, or it has closed, on January the 19th. All income and residency verification documents is due to all schools by January the 26th from all parents. So please make sure that you have received all of the income and residency verification documents by January the 26th from all the parents. The last day for all schools to verify application in leads is January the 31st. All award notification letters and emails will be sent on April the 22nd. Site registration will begin to accept the 24-25 LSP award on April the 22nd. We will be hosting a parent webinar for the LSP site registration on April the 23rd. Site registration will end, and what we mean by that, that is the last day to accept the 24-25 LSP award. That will be on May the 24th of 2024. And then the summer transfer window for the LSP scholarship program will open on June 10th. So for the 24-25 Louisiana scholarship application, it opened on December the 11th. You can see the link here where you could have accessed the online application. Remember, the online application closed on January the 19th. Remember again, so this is serving as a reminder, all income and residency verification is due by January the 26th. For the 24-25, award notifications from LDOE will be sent to families by April the 22nd. If offered an award, families must claim the scholarship award by registering at their matched school by May the 24th of 2024. Failure to meet these deadlines will result in the application being marked as incomplete and or removal from the scholarship award program. Next, let's talk about school responsibilities. So schools are not allowed to implement admissions criteria for the scholarship applicants. Schools may not discriminate against students with exceptionalities during the admission process. Schools are required to accept the grade of the sending school for all students awarded a scholarship. And students that were on the wait list for this year but did not get placed must reapply. If you need more information, please see Bulletin 133, Chapter 3, that governs the Louisiana Scholarship Program. So next, let's talk again more about school responsibilities. Participating schools must indicate student eligibility in leads for all students who have completed an application. Eligibility documentation must be reviewed for new scholarship students. Families must verify income and residency at their first choice scholarship school. Demand reports will be provided at the end of each week during the application cycle to each school. The report lists students who have applied and listed your school as their first choice. Review the demand reports provided by LDOE throughout the application period. The demand report does not guarantee that you will be awarded these students once the lottery process is complete. So please make sure if you have received a demand report and you still have students listed on that report, make sure you reach out to the parents and advise them to bring in their eligibility documents to your school because they listed you as a first choice, and you must go in leads and mark those students either eligible or not eligible based on the documentation that the parents provide. So now let's talk about the application process. So the definition of a new student is any student applying to the Louisiana Scholarship Program for the first time who did not receive an LSP scholarship for the current 23-24 school year. The new student must be a Louisiana resident, must have a household income that does not exceed 250% of the poverty guidelines, and they must be either entering kindergarten or enrolled in a public school with a C, D, or F grade on both October 1st and February 1st of the current 2023-24 school year. Homeschool students and students in grades K through 12 who currently attend non-public schools are not eligible. Okay? So who needs to submit an application? New students who are applying to the scholarship program for the first time, current scholarship students in the highest grade level at their current school, and current scholarship students who would like to transfer to another participating school. Please note, schools will collect all income and residency verification for new students during the application cycle. This information must be kept on file for auditing purposes. New students, any new student applying to the scholarship program for the first time who did not receive an LSP scholarship for the 23-24 school year. So remember the difference between the new students versus the current scholarship students. So let's talk briefly about the different types of awards. So the different types of awards, you have a new student award, you have NSECD students, you have terminal grade students, you have continuing scholarship students, and you have continuing scholarship students that's switching to a different school. So if you look here, you'll be able to see all of the different descriptions of each. So a new student is any student applying to the scholarship program for the first time in grades K through 12. They must complete the required application. They must take eligibility documentation to the first choice school, and they must meet the income and residency criteria. So if the student is an NSECD student, a rising pre-K4 student who is applying to the scholarship program for kindergarten, they must complete the required application. They must take the eligibility documentation to the first choice school, and they must meet the income and residency criteria. If the student is in a terminal grade, Any current scholarship student who is completing the final grade offered at their current scholarship school, the students in the terminal grade must complete a new scholarship application for the upcoming school year. Those students who are in a terminal grade who fail to reapply will lose the scholarship award. Students in terminal grades do not need to prove eligibility, but they must submit the requested documentation, okay? A continuing scholarship student is any current scholarship student who like to continue at the same scholarship school for the upcoming year. No application is needed. The student placement will automatically roll over to the current scholarship school for the upcoming year. If the continuing student is switching to a different school, that means the student must complete a new scholarship application for the upcoming year, but the student will not need to provide eligibility documentation to be considered for an award. The school may ask you to submit proof of income, but you do not have to redetermine eligibility, okay? Because that is something that they need to keep on file. So next, the application process, income verification. Parents and/or guardians must provide one of the following documents for every member of the household to verify their annual income is below 250% of the poverty guidelines. If the parent participates in one of the programs mentioned below, the parent can bring evidence that they participate in one of the following programs. Placement form from DCFS in the case of if the student is a foster child, the most recent unemployment compensation statement. They can also bring the Louisiana Purchase Card SNAP benefit sheet or benefit statement. The Louisiana Purchase Card, a picture of it that is not valid as one of the proof of income verification. So they must provide the budget sheet or the benefit statement. And the last thing, the most recent Social Security benefit statement. They can provide one of the four. Next, if the parent does not participate in any of the programs previously listed, the parent will need to bring one of the following documents for every income earning member in their household. The first thing is the 2022 federal tax return, and we look at total income on that tax return. Next, the most recent pension statement, or they can bring the last 4 consecutive check stubs for the current year within 60 days of the date of the application. Or they can bring any income verification, benefit statement, or award letter from a government entity or tax reporting business. A household may provide their 2022 federal tax return to verify income at the time of the application. However, if awarded a scholarship, the household must provide the 2023 federal tax return at the time of registration in the spring to confirm eligibility. That is a must. Okay. A household is defined as all immediate family members, parents, and minor siblings that reside in the home. However, it may also include any extended family members and/or guardians that have legal custody or guardianship of the student. Income must be verified for all adults that are members of that particular household. A household, as I just stated, may provide their 22 federal tax return to verify income at the time of application, but in the spring, it's a must that they must provide their 2023 federal tax return at the time of registration. If a household uses check stubs to verify income, the check stubs must be the last 4 consecutive check stubs for the current year within 60 days of the date of the application. So here is the LSP income limits guidelines, and that is 250% of the current federal poverty guidelines. So if you have 5 in your household, your yearly income cannot exceed 87,850. Your monthly income, 7,321. Bi-weekly, 3,378. And weekly will be $1,690. If you have more than 8 people in the household, you can just look here, you add this amount for each additional family member. You can utilize the last line, and that will help you determine if you fall in under the 250% of the current federal poverty guidelines. So let's talk about residency verification. Families must produce one of the following documents to verify their residency: a rental lease agreement or mortgage statement, electricity or gas bill, a telephone bill. It must be a landline. We cannot accept a cellular telephone bill. You can also submit a cable/internet service bill, a sewage or water bill, a current official letter from a government agency such as DSS or DHH. You can also submit the homestead exempt notice for your house, or you can submit a property tax notice that you receive as well. So any of the 8 documents that's listed, you can submit one of those as proof of residency. So the application process and leads verifications. Applicants must bring their documentation to their first choice scholarship school that's listed on their application. As a school, you must log into Leads using the link provided here. Under the Student tab, select Apply. Look up the student application by entering the Social Security number, and then you must select Submit. Then you verify the student information, you verify the parent information, you answer yes or no to the eligibility questions, and then you select Submit. This is something that you must do for all of the students that's listed on the weekly demand reports that we have been dropping into the FTP for you. If you do not do this, the student will be marked as ineligible and they will not be considered in the lottery to participate in the LSP program. So it is your responsibility as a school. If you have received those demand reports in the FTP, you must follow the process that's listed here in order to make sure that each student is covered that's on that report. So here's another visual for you. You log into Leads. Under the Student tab, you see the brown arrow that says Student, and then you will click Apply. Then you will enter the Social Security number for the student that's right below 2023, and then you will select Submit. From that point, please ensure that the student SSN and date of birth is correct. Verify the student's physical address. We do not accept PO boxes. And then you will select the student's assigned school district. It will not let you proceed unless you select the information that we have just outlined here. Next, to verify student information, please select the school that the student is attending for the 2023-24 school year. Failure to provide this information results in the application being marked as incomplete in the lottery. So you see this big red circle? You must put something in that box for school attended last year. Next, you verify the parent information. Make sure the parent address on the application matches the verification that the parent is providing. If available, please verify the parent's email address and telephone number. The reason we need that information is because award notification letters will be sent via mail and they will be sent via email. So it's very helpful to have that information. And also, please verify the number of household members and income amounts listed on the application. And here you'll see the red circle. That's where you would verify that information. Next, answer eligibility questions, yes or no. This is where the school determines if the family meets the income requirements based on the income verification provided. Schools must answer all 3 questions listed. After answering the questions, please hit submit to complete the application. So, is the student eligible under the income requirements? If you have verified that information and they are, you select yes. Is the student a resident of Louisiana? You look at that residency information and you will select yes or no. And is the student entering grades K through 12? You will enter yes or no, and then it'll come up that it's eligible because you have verified all of that information. Schools are not to select or change the school choices on behalf of the family. If the family needs to have this information changed, the family will need to contact the Office of School Choice at Student Scholarships at la.gov. So you see this big X? Schools, you're not supposed to alter this information at all. Our office needs to be the one that alters this information. We have a report that we can pull behind the scenes. And if a school is found that you all are manipulating this particular information, we will have to reach out and have a discussion with you as a school. Okay. Next, please emphasize to parents that eligibility must be verified after their application has been submitted. The last day for families to submit eligibility documentation is January the 26th, 2024. As families provide their eligibility documentations, schools must complete the application verification in leads as we have previously went over. We went over step by step what needs to be done in order to verify that information. Schools, please do not wait until the deadline date to verify application in leads. The last day to verify application in leads is January the 31st. If you wait until January 31st, you will probably run into problems because a lot of schools will probably be trying to access leads, and sometimes leads go down when it has too much traffic on it. So please do not wait till January the 31st to start verifying those applications. Applications cannot be updated to show eligibility after January the 31st deadline. As I stated, LDOE will be monitoring applications, incomplete applications, non-verified applications on a weekly basis. Please note, being deemed eligible for a scholarship does not guarantee a scholarship award. Being deemed eligible just means that you have looked over the eligibility documentation and that they met the qualifications for that particular step. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Office of School Choice at Student Scholarships at la.gov with any questions that you might possibly have. So let's talk about the match and the lottery. Once an application is submitted and deemed eligible, the application is entered into a lottery. Priority groups and random lottery numbers determine the order of awarding scholarships. The Louisiana Department of Education will attempt to place as many applicants as possible in their preferred school choice. Not all applying students will be eligible. Demand for some schools and/or grade is greater than the availability, and state funding determines the final number of awards made for the Louisiana Scholarship Program. So the scholarship lottery process uses the following priorities, and they are listed in order to make student awards. The first thing that it looks at, students transferring from a closing scholarship school. The next choice would be current non-public, current NSECD students applying for kindergarten. We'll look at that second. The next thing we will look at is current scholarship applicants that are in a terminal grade that submitted an application. Then we will look at siblings of current scholarship students. And in order to link the students as siblings, all siblings must be listed on the application. Okay? This only applies to children that are applying to a scholarship school in which their sibling already attends on a scholarship. Fourth, we will look at applicants attending a D or F public school or students transferring from a sanctioned scholarship school. Fifth, we will look at applicants attending a C school. And then next, we will look at applicants residing in the same parish as the school if the school choose to offer a geographic preference. And then lastly, we will look at current scholarship students who wish to attend a different scholarship school. While these students receive priority in the lottery process, a scholarship award cannot be guaranteed. Next, let's talk about demand reports. By now, you all should have received about 5 different demand reports to your FTP. So I know we have received a lot of emails from schools that could not access the FTP. All of those have been resolved. So everyone should be able to log in to our file transfer system and look at your demand reports. Remember, your username should be your 6-digit site code at Nonpublic, and you should be using the assigned password that you set for yourself, or someone at our office possibly set you up with a temporary passcode, and you should have been prompted to change it, okay? All new schools should already have your username and your passcode for the FTP in order to look at your demand reports. Next, all the demand reports should be found in your 24-25 LSP folder. The report includes the number of students who have applied and listed your school as their first choice. There is a tab labeled Incomplete Apps. This is the list of applicants that have applied but do not have a completed application because they have not provided the eligibility documentation and/or have not been marked eligible in leads. Please review the demand reports provided by LDOE weekly and make an effort to please contact the families listed. The demand report does not guarantee that you will be awarded these students once the lottery process is complete. So now let's go quickly over important reminders. Quarterly enrollment is set for February 1st through February 6th for our LSP schools and our SCP schools, okay? It is very important that all schools complete their Q3 enrollment by the deadline date. Please do not wait until February the 6th to try to get this information in. So please make sure you check to make sure that your username and your passcode is working for leads so that you can get your Q3 enrollment report entered into the system. The enrollment of your Q3 report, it will determine which continuing students are included/rolled over during the lottery for 24-25 LSP application cycle. The quarterly enrollment determines eligibility for all rollover students. So this quarterly enrollment report is very, very, very important. So please make sure you get your Q3 enrollment report completed in a very timely manner. We will not extend the enrollment deadline beyond February the 6th. All quarterly enrollment reports must be submitted on time via the Leads portal in order to receive payments on time. If the enrollment reports are not submitted on time, it affects your student enrollment counts and delays payment. Students must be reported on Q1 and Q3 enrollment report to be considered a rollover student when the upcoming school year awards are granted. If a student drops from your school, please follow the drop procedures so that the student can be dropped from your roster. Send in the declined award form so that we can drop those students from your roster, please. And those forms can be found in our school choice library, and please send those forms to student scholarships at la.gov. Next, quickly, I'm going to give you an opportunity to take a snapshot. We went over this application timeline at the beginning of our presentation. Remember the deadline for our income and residency documents. It's due by January the 26th. Schools, your last day to make sure you have all of that information verified in Leads is January the 31st. Q3 enrollment for LSP and SCP is February the 1st through the 6th. All award notification letters and emails will be sent out to the parents on April the 22nd. Site registration will begin on April the 22nd as well for the parents to accept that 24-25 LSP award. Parent webinar will be held for LSP site registration on April the 23rd. Site registration will end. That is the last day to accept that 24-25 LSP award. That will be May the 24th. So at the close of business on May the 24th, everybody who has not accepted that award, we will be dropping those students from our system, okay? So please make sure you do your due diligence to make sure that you reach out to parents to make sure that they come in and accept their awards. If they do not, once you upload that file to the FTP, whoever has not been verified, we will be dropping those students. And then the LSP summer transfer window will open on June the 10th. Just in case something has happened and parents are wishing to transfer their students to another LSP school, that at that time is when that window will open, will be on June the 10th. So please remember all of the resources that's available to all schools. If you are not receiving our newsletter, please sign up for our newsletter. The link in this presentation is active, so make sure that you go in, you put your email address, first name, last name, your job title, and your district and/or parish, and then please select non-public newsletter so that you can receive weekly updates about the Louisiana Scholarship Program and the School Choice Program for students with exceptionalities. Next, remember, we have office hours that's provided to all of our schools for one-on-one assistance for any questions. Office hours is available each week for school administrators or other school system employees. Those days are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:30 to 12. And the booking link is listed here. And in order to make sure that every school gets an opportunity to schedule a call, those hours are in 15-minute increments. Please remember when booking office hours to please include a description of what you would like to discuss during the call in the booking notes to ensure that our staff is prepared ahead of time for the call so that we can effectively use the time to address your concerns. If you miss your scheduled time, please book a new appointment time. And again, if you have any questions about office hours, please reach out to us at studentscholarships@la.gov for assistance. Remember, this service is not available to parents. It's not available to families. If families have any questions or anything like that, they can send an email to studentscholarships@la.gov for assistance. Again, remember, if you are having problems with your account for leads, please make sure that you send an email to studentscholarships@la.gov and please include your school code and your username. If you don't include those two things, we have to send an email back to you and say, hey, what's your school code or what's your username, so that we can look up your information and get back to you in a very timely manner. Again, here's some helpful links. Please take a snapshot of this, but you also have this presentation. These links are active. You can go to LEADS, which is LEADS 5. You can see that link here. Our LDOE School Choice Library. You can go there. All of our forms are listed in that LDOE School Choice Library. Here's the link for our LDOE weekly non-public newsletter. And here's a helpful link for the Louisiana Scholarship Program if you need to know anything about the program. Remember, for support for the Louisiana Scholarship Program and for the School Choice Program for students with exceptionalities, please reach out to student scholarships at la.gov. If you have any questions about operations, BESC approval, Broomfield versus Dodd approval, please reach out to Nonpublic Schools at la.gov. And if you have any questions about approved home study program, non-public schools not seeking state approval, please reach out to home study at la.gov. And again, I would like to thank you so much for reviewing today's call. And if you have any questions, please contact the Office of School Choice at Student Scholarships at la.gov. Thank you so much for your time. And again, if we can be of any assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out to the Office of School Choice. Thank you.